Hi everyone, it's me, Angela Montoya. It's been another hair wash day, and so of course I am here to bless your screens with more writer information, author chisme, okay? Author tea. Last video I talked a little bit about my querying journey. I shared the query that I used to eventually land my literary agent. Not just land one, but I had 3 offers of rep. But yeah, I just landed one because I accepted just one. I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens after you sign that dotted line and you are officially represented by an agent. Number 1, what you must do is fucking scream. All right? I know you've been working hard. I know you've been querying your ass off, so you scream. Number 1 rule, once you sign that dotted line, you celebrate yourself. That should be a rule you carry with you across the board in this writing journey. In fact, across your lifespan. Okay? Anytime something amazing happens, big or small, celebrate that shit. You know why? Because this world is hard enough. Life is hard enough, so we need to celebrate the good things. After you have signed that dotted line, you get to celebrate with your friends and with people that have been following your journey. So you get to post about it, which is a blast. You get to be like, hey world, guess what? I am now officially represented. Everybody cheer and clap for me because I need it. And you do, and you deserve it. After that, then what? After the fun stuff is over, then what? Well, for me, once I signed that dotted line, once the announcement was out, my agent and I got right to work. She dug into my manuscript, went hard with things that she thought would be best if I tweaked, added on, built on, all with the intention of pitching it eventually to editors. What was interesting for my case with Sinner's Isle, the first book I sold, was it was originally a young adult book, but it was upper YA, so it was on this cusp of like, we could easily bump this to adult. And that's what we first kind of landed on, was like, let's try and sell this in the adult market. And so to do that, I bumped up the ages of my characters. I added a few more scenes that were maybe a little more adultish. And then we went on submission after a few months working on that book. I signed with my literary agent, let's say in April of 2021. Yeah, we'll go with that. We worked on it for a little bit, tweaked things, bumped it up to adult, and then by June or July of that year, we went out on submission. Basically what being on submission is this terrible, awful, horrifying time where everything's out of your control and it's all on your agent to do the work for you. And what she's doing, or he or they, is looking for editors that they really and truly believe are looking for your book. So the reason why you want an agent, at least if you're trying to do the traditional route, is to have somebody that is going to champion your book on your behalf. Not only that, but they have their ear to what editors are looking for. They know what publishing houses want. When we were ready to send Sinner's Isle as an adult book out into the trenches of submission, out to editors and publishing houses, we went out in June or July 2021, and then I sat. I think everybody has a different idea of what they want when it comes to being on submission. Some people want to hear everything that comes across their agent's desk, either it's a pass. Some people want to know all the news. For me, I only wanted to know the good things, which I don't know if it was a great idea because I didn't hear anything. I only wanted to hear good things, and so I heard nothing for months until I would finally give in and ask my agent, and she'd be like, no, nothing yet. I think if I would have gone back and redone submission again, which I'm sure I will be again soon, but If I would have gone back, would I have wanted to know things as they came in? Yeah, probably. I would like to know if we were getting passes, what people were saying, or would I? Or is ignorance bliss? It wasn't bliss. No, that's not true. It was not bliss. Ignorance was not bliss when I was on submission. The entire months that I was on submission as an adult submission, I was in hell. Yeah, that's where I was. I was in purgatory in my brain. Yeah, that's where I was. Because I didn't know anything, and because it feels like such a big step, and it could be a step where you don't hear any yeses, and so eventually your book just dies on submission after however long. So it's like you're reeling in the unknowns. Really unknowing maybe isn't the best thing. I don't know. I hear often people say when you are doing these big things, and I really and truly believe this is a good idea, but is to stay busy. I did not do that. I did not write a single thing while I was on submission with Sinner's Isle because my brain was a mess. I was just so overwhelmed with worry, constantly checking my emails. It was like querying, but worse, if you can imagine it. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't until September of 2021 where we'd been getting some close calls, some little nibbles, but it wasn't where we were feeling really solid in the adult space in particular, where my agent said, why don't we just try and go back down to young adult? We'll send the book that we have because it could go down to an upper YA vibe easily enough. So let's just send it to young adult editors as well. It's like, fuck yeah, girl, I'll do anything. And so that's what we started doing. So in about September of 2021, a few months after we had started to be on submission as just adult, we went into the young adult space. Right around that time, I had had enough of my own brain playing asshole games. And so what I did to survive being on submission was I didn't write, unfortunately. Because had I started to write stuff, maybe I would have had more things to sell later on down the road. But my mental health just was not there. So I'm gonna cut myself slack. And if you feel like you can't write, I'm gonna cut you slack too. Let your brain take a break if it really and truly needs it. But if you feel like, you know what, I wanna stay distracted, I wanna stay busy, I wanna push through, then write. Do the damn thing. You won't regret it. Right around September when we went into the young adult space and I wasn't writing, but I knew I needed to do something to help with my mental health, I started listening to words of affirmation videos on YouTube, shout out, to help me. I would go out and take walks and listen to these videos, and I had a great time readjusting my mind. I would just search in the search bar, bad bitch affirmations. Those bad bitch affirmations were a game changer. Books aside, submission aside, it was just a game changer in my own confidence and my own belief in myself. As I was walking around, because I live in the country, so I was walking around our property, listening to my bad bitch affirmations, saying, I am a bad bitch. I deserve bad bitch things. I was strutting my stuff and feeling it. And changing my mindset to doom and gloom and festering over my inbox and worrying over submission and being terrified that this is it. Switching from that to being like, no, I am gonna get a book deal. I am a bad bitch. I can do hard things. I have got this. Switching that over really and truly helped me so much. And I still listen to those affirmations often. I'm not kidding. Whenever I'm off to go to a book convention or do scary things, you better believe if you see me and I have headphones on, I'm listening to my bad bitch affirmations, and you should too. Now, once my mindset was shifting, I was feeling good again, I was like in a healthier place, books aside. And of course, that's when the good news came. In November of 2021, I got a call from my agent saying, "Are you sitting down?" And I lied. I said, "Yes. Yes, I am. What do you have to tell me right now?" That was when my agent came to me and told me that we have interest on for Sinner's Isle from a young adult imprint. In my head, I was screaming, but probably on the phone, I was dead quiet. Just like, because it was from an imprint that I was floored by. It was an imprint called Joy Revolution, which was an imprint created by Nicola Yoon and David Yoon, which I'll get into in another video. I was absolutely aghast. I'd imagine at that point, my agent reached out to the other editors that had my manuscript, kind of just like with querying, what I had done once I received an offer is what I'm thinking is what happened, to let people know that there was interest. And as soon as she did, more editors came forward. I think by the time it was all said and done, we had 5 editors from different imprints that were interested in Sinner's Isle, which is wild. 2 of those editors ended up backing out because they were part of the same publishing house as some of the other parties who were even more interested, so they backed out. After we learned about the interest, I hopped on Zoom chats and video calls with these editors, with the publishing houses in particular, and was a nervous mess every single time. However, what I do find is so cool about this business in particular is that we're all just bookish people, and we can easily bond and find common ground over books. And because these editors that had read my book liked my book, enjoyed common themes that I talked about in that book, I knew automatically they were good people. They aligned with me. I had these chats with 3 different editors, 3 different teams, and we ended up going to auction. What that means is those publishing houses were willing to battle to the death for my book. Not literally, but that just means it's like an auction. I think we know what an auction is. They were willing to put their best foot forward and bid for my book. That day when the auction went live felt very surreal, because I think for me, I felt like it was gonna feel this weird feeling of okay, it's happening right now, and energy was gonna be up. It wasn't like that for me at all, because I had nothing to do with it. My agent was doing all of it, but I was getting updates, and it was a super exciting day. But when it closed, auction closed, and then my agent and I got together, we talked, and decided that Joy Revolution was the imprint for me. We had to wait, I believe, until after the holidays, because it was right around Thanksgiving and then into Christmas time, and probably around February, I got to sign the contract and then announce the deal. So basically, give or take, from when I started querying to when I made the announcement about the deal was a year, which I didn't even realize because it felt so much longer in real time when I was experiencing it. Every day, every second felt like an eternity while I was going through it. But it was actually rather fast, now that I think about it. So basically, once I signed with my agent, I put her ass to work. She and I worked so hard on getting my book ready for submission, on going out on submission, on selling it, on finding the right editors, on finding the proper deals, on doing all the things. That for that entire year, we were working. Now, taking it back to what this video is about, what do you do once you sign with your agent? I think it's different for every single person. I think it depends on where you're at with your manuscript. It depends on what you guys are pitching, what your goals are for your book. I think there's a lot of different factors, but at the end of the day, the entire goal is to get out on submission and to sell your story. Basically, once you sign that dotted line and you hire your agent, you work your ass off. That's what you do once you sign that dotted line. You get to work. I thought writing a story was the hard part, which it was. Then I thought querying was the hard part, which it was. Getting an agent was a hard part. It is. But it doesn't end once you get an agent. It only gets going. It only gets harder. And I can laugh about it now, but it's only because I've shed a lot of tears throughout the years, because it truly is a hard ass business to be a part of. But when those yeses come, when the good news comes, whether it's a little thing or a huge thing, it's so exciting. So all of those hard things, the goalposts constantly shifting, it's all part of the fun. It's all part of the journey to get to where you want. And that is seeing a book on the shelf, at least for me. So once again, once you sign with that agent, don't think you can sit back and relax, because the good times are just getting freaking started. That's it for me today. Next time I will talk about the imprint that I have published my 3 books with, Joy Revolution. If you have anything else you'd like me to yap about, spill the tea about, I am here. So leave your comments below. Also just say hi, tell me how good I'm doing, tell me I'm making sense, tell me you love me. Please, I need all the good news, all the good vibes I can get. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. You're hot, you're special, you're courageous, you're wonderful, you're smart. Did I tell you you're hot? I think I did, but I think you know that. You're doing a great job. Bye.